What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video I will be reviewing episode 200 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. So the Boruto anime has hit a huge milestone, 200 episodes, and we are now 20 episodes away from tying the amount of episodes the original Naruto anime had. So Boruto on episode 220, which is only 20 episodes away, it will have the same amount of episodes as the original Part 1 Naruto, which is cool. Then we can have an accurate comparison of which anime is better, whether that be the original Naruto or Boruto, which right now I'm most likely going to say it's Naruto because, yeah, I think Naruto is still better. But overall, Boruto has been fantastic. Anyways, with that being said, yeah, a huge milestone. The episode started off with with Kawaki getting the hand that Katasuke made him, the prosthetic hand that Katasuke made him, and Naruto used his own chakra to connect that hand to Kawaki's arm. And he told Kawaki that chakra is the power to connect. It connects people. That's one of the main things about chakra. And he even told Kawaki, you have chakra inside of you as well. And then we had the scene where Delta's drone went back to the Korra hideout, and it basically, the drone basically controls her consciousness. So it actually, once it went back to the hideout, it connected to the other two Deltas that were asleep, because I guess because basically she has 3 bodies. From what we've seen, she has 3 bodies, and once one of her bodies is destroyed, she can switch into another one. So her consciousness went into a different one of her bodies, and then yeah, she basically was still alive, I guess. I mean, yeah, she is basically still alive, but she's in a different one of her, because she has 3 bodies, but they're all identical. So that's cool. And then she ended up telling the Korra members that about what happened with the whole situation with Naruto, and how Kawaki was protecting Himawari, the Hokage's daughter, and that cost him his arm and stuff. She told him that whole situation, and Cole was like, well, since you lost, it's my turn now to go fight the Hokage. Which in the manga, I remember Cole being a lot more cocky, Cole and Boro. In the manga, I'm pretty sure, I could be misremembering, but in the manga, I'm pretty sure they were talking like they could beat Naruto, like they were making fun of Delta for not being able to beat Naruto. But in the anime, I like the way the anime did it better, because Cole was pretty much just like, oh, well, it's my turn now. He wasn't acting as cocky as he usually does, which leads me to believe that they're not hyping him up as much as far as his power. They're not making him seem as strong as they do in the manga. So then also Delta told Jigen and the rest of the Korra Inners about what Kashi and Koji did, and the fact that Kashi and Koji stopped her from basically retrieving Kawaki before he got into the Hidden Leaf Village, which was a part of their mission. And she said that the reason he did that is because Boruto has the karma. And then Jigen was like, so Momoshiki managed to get his own vessel as well. And this also, proves that the anime only content that some people call filler, that's not actually filler, it's just anime original content, but it's still canonical. Like, for example, the time travel arc where Urashiki basically told Boruto, I don't care if you are the vessel, I don't even care if you're the vessel anymore. So that was foreshadowing all the way back in that anime original arc that wasn't in the manga, that anime exclusive arc. It was foreshadowed all the way back then about stuff that's happening now. So I'm getting sick of people calling stuff in the Boruto anime filler. The Boruto anime has 0 filler. I'm going to do a whole video about that most likely. Anyways, or at least I plan on doing that. Now, anyway, so yeah, that was the conversation that the Inners had of Korra. Later on in the episode, we did get another Korra scene with Boro pretty much being mad that he was kind of like accused of being a potential, traitor to the group. But yeah, so that's basically stuff we have with the Korra members. And then the other stuff we had in the episode was training. We got to see Kawaki training with Naruto. He told Naruto that he wanted to learn ninjutsu. Can Naruto teach him ninjutsu? And Naruto said, yeah, I'm going to make you my student. Now, that's a very cool dynamic. That's very interesting. And that's very cool because I like how they did that. It's just like it's a parallel to what Boruto is doing with Sasuke. Sasuke agreed to make Boruto his student. And now Naruto agreed to make Kawaki his student. And I really like that dynamic. I really like how that's set up because, you know, that's just it's just set up in a great way because Naruto and Sasuke Boruto and Kawaki, they're the rivals of the new generation. Kawaki is they're rivals, just like how Naruto and Sasuke were, and they're the co-main characters of the series, pretty much, just like how Naruto and Sasuke were. But it's now like they're kind of switching it, kind of reversing it. As far as like the main character who is Boruto, he's gonna follow more of Sasuke's path, and he looks up to Sasuke more. And some people are even theorizing that he's gonna have like a dark, kind of like more of a tragic, life, kind of like how Sasuke did. And then you have Kawaki who looks up to Naruto more, and Naruto is the one he aspires to be like, just like how Boruto aspires to be like Sasuke, which is very, very cool. And some people are even theorizing that he's gonna, kind of become more like Naruto. So, anyways, yeah, that was a cool thing. And then as far as the training go, we got to see Kawaki using some basic taijutsu, fighting with a kunai and stuff, training against, fighting against Naruto, and because Naruto was teaching him and training him. And then we got to see Kawaki throwing shuriken, and he was throwing shuriken at the target, and he tried to use the karma seal to get better results because his shuriken throwing skills wasn't good, and he ended up hitting the target when he got the karma seal. But they kept Naruto and Boruto, they kept on telling him, don't use your karma, use your chakra. And Naruto told Kawaki, don't rely on your body modifications, which he called scientific ninja tools. Don't rely on those, and don't rely on your karma seal so much. Use your own chakra. Initially, Kawaki didn't even know he had chakra, but Naruto said you have chakra as well, because chakra is just a normal thing that pretty much everyone have. Even Rock Lee has chakra, which I've seen some people claim that Rock Lee doesn't have chakra because they, misinterpreted the series. But Rock Lee, he actually does have chakra. It's just that he can't use ninjutsu or genjutsu. But he does have chakra because you actually need chakra to use the 8 inner gates in the first place. But anyways, so, yeah. So Kawaki, he will, even after Naruto told him, hey, don't rely on your body modifications, your scientific ninja tools so much, as well as your karma seal, don't rely on that too much. Even after Naruto told Kawaki that, he still wanted to he still relied on his karma seal to try to get better results in his training. And then Boruto was like, hey, you gotta use your chakra. And Kawaki was like, isn't chakra just a means to get power? And Naruto was like, no, chakra isn't just about that. Chakra is also, it's also about connections, and it helps form bonds and connections and stuff like that. And just like how Kawaki's arm is being held together by Naruto's chakra. And Kawaki even asks, like, isn't that basically affecting you negatively or making you more tired or exhausted or whatever? And Naruto said, no, it's pretty much just like maintaining a shadow clone, which does make sense because Naruto needs to use chakra to maintain shadow clones as well, obviously. So yeah, he said him connecting Kawaki's prosthetic arm to his arm that had been partially, because like his hand had been destroyed, obviously his hand had been basically cut off. So that prosthetic hand that Naruto is using his chakra to connect to Kawaki's arm, that's just like Naruto maintaining a shadow clone, which is cool, except it means that Kawaki won't be able to use that prosthetic hand while Naruto's sleeping. So yeah, so chakra, just like the Sage of the Six Paths, who established Ninshu, that was the whole purpose of chakra, was to connect people. It was used as a tool to connect people. It was only later on where it was used as a tool to get more power after Indra pretty much invented ninjutsu and stuff. But still, that whole thing that it started off with about connecting chakra, that's still an aspect. About connecting people, that's still an aspect that chakra has. Now, the thing with karma is, I'm not going to spoil things too much for the anime only, But what I will say is it does operate very similarly to chakra, not just in the sense that it's a tool to get use as to get more power, just like Kawaki said, but also as far as connecting people, it's similar to chakra in that way. And like I said, I don't want to spoil things too much for the anime onlys, but I don't think this is a huge spoiler. But just know that there is some element about the karma seal that's basically related to chakra, as if it like has chakra in it and stuff. But also you can see that in the episode when Delta was talking to the Inners, she told the Inners that Boruto and Kawaki got a power boost when their karma seals resonated. So that's also very similar to what Naruto was talking about how chakra connects people. When Boruto and Kawaki uses their karma seals, it connects them, and it actually makes them stronger. It gives them a power boost. And they're also gonna, well, that's all I'll say about that, because I don't want to spoil things too much for the anime onlys. But anyways, so yeah, that's the stuff that happened with Kawaki training with Naruto. A thing that they changed from the manga. One thing that they changed from the manga is, in the manga, Sarada was actually with Kawaki while he was training with Naruto, and Mitsuki wasn't there. But in the anime, they changed things up, and they replaced Sarada with Mitsuki, and Mitsuki was actually there along with Boruto and Naruto watching Kawaki train instead of Sarada. So I think that's fine that they did that. Me personally, I prefer Sarada to get more screen time, because I'm more of a Sarada fan, and I think obviously she's better than Mitsuki. But yeah, anyways, I prefer Sarada to be there, but it's understandable why they made that change, because Sarada is actually training with Sasuke. So she's training to learn her Chidori, which does make sense. So it was a necessary change that they added in there. Now, anyway, so yeah, the next thing was Sarada training with Sasuke to learn the Chidori. And her Chidori is nowhere near as powerful as Sasuke's, but she did seem like she got the hang of it pretty quickly, and that's because she's a prodigy. So yeah, that was cool as well. So the training stuff was cool. Like I said, we got to see Sarada and Sasuke training. We got to see Sarada, learn how to use the Chidori. And then Sasuke had to go because he got summoned by Sai. He had a mission to go. And, he got a mission that only he could complete. And, basically Sai is the one who summoned him and gave him the mission. And the only reason he's the only one who can do it, because he's the only one with the Rinnegan, obviously. And that we're going to see that mission, and it's going to lead to a very, very cool fight, which, like I said, I'm not going to spoil for the anime onlys. Now, yeah, so that training was cool. Sarada, and you got to see how much of a prodigy she was, because even some people was comparing Sarada's training to learn the Chidori. That was comparing that to how Sasuke learned the Chidori. And we seen that Gaara, in the tuning exams, he was watching Sasuke learn the Chidori, and it didn't even seem like Sasuke it didn't seem like Sasuke learned it as fast as Sarada, because Sarada pretty much instantly learned it. But we don't know exactly how much time passed, but I think they both learned it pretty quickly anyways, because they both already knew the changes in chakra nature and how to, make different changes in chakra nature. I mean, basically how to change their chakra nature, because they both knew the fireball jutsu before this. But Sarada, she also knew lightning style before this as well. Now, Sasuke, he always had lightning style, but the Chidori was his first lightning style jutsu that he did. So that stuff was cool. And so the Sasuke and Sarada training for Sasuke teaching Sarada how to use the Chidori, that was cool. Kawaki learning ninjutsu and, just basic ninja stuff from Naruto, Boruto, and Mitsuki, that was cool. Although I do have a big problem with something that happened during the Kawaki training, but I'm going to get to that later. Now, another thing I want to bring up is Shikamaru. In this episode, he was discussing the whole thing with... It was a scene where he was discussing the whole Kawaki situation and everything that happened with Delta and stuff. He was discussing that with Naruto in this episode. And Sasuke, Shikamaru, and Sai were all in the Hokage's office. Now, the thing that I like about that scene is pretty much that those are the most important shinobi in the village in terms of, decision making. Sasuke, he's the Shadow Hokage. Sasuke's the Shadow Hokage. Shikamaru is Naruto's assistant. Naruto's the Hokage, and then Sai is the head of the Anbu Black Ops. So that's kind of like Naruto's inner circle. Those are the most important characters in the village right now. So I like how they were all in the meeting together, and that was cool. Now, the thing I didn't like about that scene is how Shikamaru, Shikamaru was terrible in this scene. Like, he's been the only one ever since this arc started. All of the other Hokage, all of the other Kage have agreed to let Kawaki, they've all agreed to what Naruto's been doing with Kawaki, to let Kawaki live with Naruto and stuff and let Naruto watch over Kawaki. They all agreed to that. Shikamaru was the only one who disagreed with that. And he was obviously wrong because, the inners, the Korra, for example, if Delta would have attacked, like, let's just say they put Kawaki somewhere else. Let's just say Naruto was still at the Hokage's office and Kawaki was in like jail, or he was in some type of, medical institution or something like that. And he was being watched 24/7 by regular Jonin or something like that, or the Anbu Black Ops. Delta would have easily captured Kawaki. She would have easily killed whoever was guarding Kawaki, and she would have easily captured him. And the fact that Shikamaru doesn't understand that is ridiculous. He's supposed to be the smartest character in the village, even though I think Sasuke has always been smarter than Shikamaru, at least ever since Shippuden. But anyways, the anime is making Shikamaru look extremely stupid. So that's why I don't like this scene. The anime is making Shikamaru look extremely stupid. Because obviously what Naruto's been doing has been the smarter thing to do. That the fact that Naruto's actually watching Kawaki instead of some random bodyguards. And then another thing I didn't like about this scene is the fact that Shikamaru was like, hey, that's my only condition. I'm not budging. I'm going to put bodyguards I'm going to have bodyguards watch Kawaki. I am not budging on that decision. And I'm like, bro, who the heck are you to tell Naruto you're not budging? You're not the Hokage. You're just an assistant. Know your place. Know your role and shut your mouth. Bro, what is, I know Shikamaru smokes cigarettes, but this guy is acting like he's on a different planet or something. Like, bro, do you not, first of all, know your place? You don't tell Naruto what to do. Naruto makes the final decision. You're just there to assist him. Like, imagine Shizune telling Tsunade, hey, I'm not budging on this. I'm making this demand and I'm gonna do it no matter what. I'm not budging on it. Like, what? You don't make no final decisions. You just here to go get my coffee. What you talking about? You at most you can make suggestions. You don't make decisions. See, look, that was a very stupid piece of dialogue that the anime added in there. So yeah, that was bad. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That was just some bad dialogue, and it made Shikamaru look extremely stupid. Now, yeah. So, and then he told sorry, I keep on saying Kawaki. My bad. And then he told Konohamaru. Later on in the episode, he told Konohamaru, hey, he basically assigned Konohamaru to watch over Kawaki. Now, that's pretty funny because in the manga, Konohamaru, literally in the newest manga chapter that just came out, this is the first time we actually seen Konohamaru in the manga, basically since this entire Kawaki arc started a couple years ago. So, in the manga, Konohamaru pretty much disappeared and nobody knew what happened to him. Even me, I kind of forgot that he was like, I was like, what the heck happened to Konohamaru? But in the anime, they're trying to give him something to do, and they're making him be the one who's being Kawaki's bodyguard. Which, to me, that's a very stupid idea in the first place because Naruto is more than enough to guard Kawaki. What's Konohamaru going to do to a Korra member? Pretty much nothing. He's really not that strong. This I'm not necessarily as mad with it. I'm more so mad with, I'm not necessarily mad. I think the anime messed up with Shikamaru's dialogue. Like I said, I think they made him sound extremely stupid. But I'm okay with Konohamaru being a bodyguard to Kawaki or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, Naruto, everybody agreed that what Naruto was doing. And obviously, Naruto was right because if Kawaki just had some random Jonin guarding him, as I already said, Delta would have been able to easily kill those Jonin and capture Kawaki. But the fact that Naruto was there, that made Kawaki more safe and actually made the village safer as well. Because, as Naruto said in the episode, they don't know exactly what Korra is planning. So it's smarter to keep Kawaki in the village because they know the Korra is a very strong, evil organization, but they don't know exactly what they're planning. So, yeah, all of that made sense. And plus, because Kawaki has the Korma seal just like Boruto, so it's pretty smart to keep Kawaki in the village to try to figure out what's going on with Kawaki and Boruto. Now, anyways, with all of that being said, yeah, the last thing that I got to complain about is during when Kawaki was training with Naruto, Kawaki shot a karma blast at Naruto, and it did nothing to Naruto. Naruto just smiled, and it did nothing to him. And he was like, that was a pretty cool attack or whatever. That was dumb. That was flat out stupid. That's one of the dumbest changes that the anime has made ever since they started adapting this Kawaki arc. That was just flat out stupid. Because, like I said, I don't want to spoil too much for an anime only. But one thing I will say about the Karma Seal is that's not normal. That's not like that's like high tier Naruto powers. The Karma is a very top tier power for the Naruto verse. So Naruto shouldn't be able to just tank a hit from the Karma Seal like it's nothing. I mean, we even seen earlier on in the anime when Kawaki was going on that rampage, Naruto needed to enter KCM in order to counter the Karma Blast. But in the anime here, he just pretty much shrugged it off like it was nothing. That was pretty stupid. He took no damage from it. That was dumb. Now, it would have been better if they had him have like some Nine Tails chakra, at least like some, that little red, bubbly Nine Tails cloak chakra to block it. That would have been better. But the fact that they just had him just block it in his base form and take it like it was nothing, that was dumb. Because as I said, the Karma Seal is actually a top tier power that's actually on Naruto levels. It actually is. Like the power itself of Karma, that's actually top tier Naruto level powers. That's like high tier Naruto verse powers. So Naruto shouldn't be able to just tank that like it was nothing. It made more sense what they did earlier on in the anime where they had Naruto go into his KCM to, block Kawaki's attack. But here they made it look, they just made that attack look like it was nothing. Now, granted, the Karma Blast itself was a smaller blast than the blast that Kawaki, it was a smaller blast than the blast that Naruto blocked with his KCM back in Rutan. It was actually a smaller blast than that. So I'm just gonna say that since Kawaki's training, he's not training with killer intent. So I'm just gonna say that, the only logical explanation for this scene is that Kawaki wasn't actually trying to kill Naruto, so he made a weaker blast than the blast that he would usually make if he had killer intent. For example, the blast at Rutan, he was just trying to, get those police officers off of him. Even that blast probably didn't have full killer intent as a whole. I mean, we seen the damage Kawaki could do with his Karma Blast back when he fought Garo. But anyway, still, it was a pretty stupid thing that they did there. And that actually wasn't in the manga. That's an anime original, anime only scene that they added in there, which was pretty stupid. And at the end of the episode, Kawaki, he was trying to put together the vase that he broke for Himawari. And as he was leaving the room, because he was missing a piece, he was about to leave the room to try to find that piece he was missing. The Nine Tails, Kurama, his head emerged from Naruto's sleeping body, and he basically told Kawaki, where you think you're going? Don't stray too far away from Naruto. Yeah, so that was a very nice, cool scene, a cliffhanger leading into next week's episode. That was a very, very cool scene to see the Nine Tails again come out of Naruto's body, which I'm pretty sure the Nine Tails is able to do that because Naruto no longer has a seal with the Nine Tails. Like, the Nine Tails is not a seal anymore because Naruto pretty much undid the seal in the war, and the Nine Tails is now, the Nine Tails is still inside of Naruto, but, they're partners now, and their chakra is 100% connected. Now, with that being said, yeah, so that's what I think about the episode. Overall, it was a pretty great episode. The only two things the two main problems with the episode was how stupid Shikamaru looked with his dialogue. The anime made him look very stupid with his dialogue. And the fact that Kawaki's blast did nothing to Naruto. His Karma Blast did nothing to Naruto. Those were my two biggest problems with the episode. Overall, though, the episode was still fantastic. A great way to celebrate the 200th episode of Boruto. Great episode overall. So with that being said, the story, I've usually been giving the story 10 out of 10s, and I'm kind of tempted to give it a 9.5 out of 10 just because of those two big problems that I had with the episode. However, I could just say those were minor nitpicks. Like, those things are not going to be things that actually drastically worsens the story. It's not going to make the story drastically worse than what it is. It's just little problematic things that shouldn't have been the case. However, it's not going to, drag down the story. The story is still fantastic overall. But as I said, you could come up with a logical explanation for the whole Karma Seal thing because Kawaki, as we see in the manga, when he's training, he doesn't fight anybody with killer intent when he's training, as we just see in the recent manga chapter. So that's a logical explanation for that. But Shikamaru did look pretty stupid in the episode. I mean, he did sound pretty stupid. Anyways, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because those are minor nitpicks. So yeah, story, 10 out of 10. Art, 10 out of 10. And animation, 10 out of 10. Fantastic episode. Another fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. A 10 out of 10 episode. and a great way to celebrate the 200th episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And with that being said, yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. And if you guys like the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode and of my review in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out. Every promise I've been praying for.